I can't wait to show you my toys.
Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're looking at the DST or Diamond Select Toys Westworld Series 1 set of 3 action figures. Now I must confess, I've personally never seen an episode of Westworld. I hear great things about it from those who have seen it. I'm familiar with the show, I've seen the trailers, etc. This is probably going to be one of those TV shows where now that I have the figures, I'm going to be curious to check out the show. So it's on the agenda to do in the next few days. I got these guys because I absolutely love suited and civilian action figures to enhance my other action figure collections. This guy here, Robert Ford, he's a great older guy in a suit. Delores Abernathy here, she's in a long dress, pretty much in some plain clothes. And then we got the man in black here. This guy here looks really cool, all dressed in black, got his gun on his hip, he comes with a cowboy hat. This guy's going to be really cool with Jonah Hex or Gentleman Ghost, riding on a horse. Now I've been looking for these figures online for a couple of weeks now. I know they've been out for a little while. The problem I've been encountering is Amazon.com had them for $29.99, $30 pretty much. The suggested retail price for these guys is $19.99. So make sure you're not paying more than that when you find them. I guess originally DST was going to have them come with a diorama, but that idea got scrapped. These are the bare bone release. Do not pay more than $20 for them. I read a tip at the Whoosh forums that BBTS, Big Bad Toy Store, had the set for $50. That's even cheaper than $20 each. So I went on there to grab them real quick, and I saw they had a damaged set on there for $44. So I went ahead and grabbed that one. It said they were damaged packaged, but all the figures were mint condition. And since I'm not keeping these guys unopened, I figured, why not? So I ended up getting the set $44. Great price. Really looking forward to opening these guys up. Do like DST figures, a 7-inch scale. So let's go ahead and see how damaged they were. So Delores here, as you can see, her card back is coming off the blister. It has some water damage to it, pretty bent at the top there. The back is totally sunken in, and you can feel it definitely got wet at one point in time. The figure appears to be in great shape though. Dr. Robert Ford here, he's not in horrible shape. The top's just a little bent up. That's really the only issue with that one. And the man in black, he's actually in the best shape. Top's really not too bad. Bottom's a little beat up. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. As you can see, it's got a description of the figure, Westworld logo here, ton of extra accessories, nothing on either side, nothing on the bottom. On the back here, we've got a picture of the rest of the wave, which I'm looking forward to getting. I do believe there's a Walgreens exclusive version of her that I'm going to track down. And there's a damaged exclusive version of him that's going to be coming out probably next year. You can pre-order them at Amazon.com for $19. I got the price right for that guy. So with no further ado, let's open these guys up and see if they're as cool as I thought they'd be. Well, guess what? I decided to head out to Walgreens real quick, and I found Outlaw Delores. I believe this to be a Walgreens exclusive. Now you may notice the packaging is different. This is not the traditional cardboard back blister card package. This is in sort of a square box package. Now when I went there, I saw the figures were all $16.99 at Walgreens, and I was like, God damn it, why didn't I buy them here? But I realized when looking at them, they were on this different packaging, and I was like, well, that's kind of odd. This packaging usually is what you'd find with the larger deluxe with the diorama piece. But these are the bare bone. They come with nothing. I saw the other figures. They had no hands, no accessories, just the stand. And I was like, well, definitely glad I got them online. So you can check out this packaging here. As you can see, Outlaw Delores. She's in there. She doesn't have her dress on this time. Nothing really going on either of the sides. If anyone needs the barcode, here it is. Once again, I do believe this to be a Walgreens exclusive. And in the back, you really just see her as well as the rest of the wave. So with no further ado, let's open all 4 of these guys up. Alright, now that we got these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. And they do come with quite a bit, at least until you get to Delores. So I must remind you guys, there are 2 different versions of these figures available. First of all, the kind that I got, at least for the first 3, have a card back and a blister attached to the front. These ones are the standard releases. They're going to retail for about $20 each, and they're going to come with plenty of accessories, alternate hands, weapons, etc. Then The very last figure in front of you, the Outlaw Delores, she's a Walgreens exclusive. There's another version of all the figures, and they're in a box type packaging. And these are, I believe, Walgreens exclusives. They retail for about $17. They come with the figure and almost no accessories. I would highly recommend spend the extra $3, get the accessories, get them online. Do want to run you another thing. I have not seen the show Westworld. It is definitely on my agenda for the near future. So I'm using these guys as civilians and whatnot in my action figure world, and really frankly because they're pretty cool looking figures. So before we look at their accessories, let's check out the actual figures. So here's Dr. Robert Ford, Anthony Hopkins. In my opinion, it's a great likeness. Older guy, hairline receding a little bit. You can see he's got black vest, white shirt with a tie underneath. He's got that chain. Maybe he's got a watch inside of there. Overall, I think this guy's great. Black slacks, black dress-up shoes. This guy is going to be great in my action figure world. Then we've got the Man in Black. Bald here. He does come with a hat. This guy has a lot of accessories. Black vest, black tie, black shirt, black jacket, all in black. Wonder why they call him Man in Black. Black slacks, black shoes with some tips. You can see his pistol here sort of exposed, like he's intimidating somebody, sort of pulling his jacket back. Overall, I think this guy looks really nice. Then we've got Delores Abernathy. Face looks pretty good. Hair has some nice detail. You can see a lot of different shading in there. She got her dress, sort of looks like it's supposed to be a one-piece dress, top and bottom. It's all sort of blue. She got her belt here with a satchel. I must say, this dress here really doesn't do a lot. It's just one solid piece. What's funny is she's got fully articulated legs under here. You can't really see it very good, but it almost looks like she's got some kind of long johns, skivvies on. I mean, they're definitely sculpted. Very odd, fully articulated legs under here, and you'll really never get to be able to utilize them. She should work as a pretty good civilian in my world as well, depending on what circumstances or setup I'm working on. And then last, we've got the Outlaw Delores. This is the same character in different outfit. Face looks pretty good as well. Guessing it's the same head sculpt. We'll check that out in detail. Shirt has stripes on it. A little bit open here. She's got the belt with a holster. One thing really annoying, both these figures have permanently attached guns. I had read somewhere that was demanded by either the actors or the studio to make these figures. Then she got khaki pants, belt, boots. Looking pretty nice. And then here they are with all the removable parts detached, broken down as far as they can go. Next, let's take a look at their accessories, and they do come with quite a bit. Like I said, at least the first two figures. So Robert Ford here has his dog, two alternate heads, one with a hat on, one without, and 4 hands. Each one of the figures comes with a stand. Man in Black has a hat, a knife, combined total of 8 hands. 2 items here that honestly I'm not sure what they are, frankly because I haven't watched the show. Then we've got Delores, she's got a satchel. And then Outlaw Delores, she has 2 alternate heads, one with a bandana on top of her mouth. Let's go and start off by checking out these stands. It's an oval, solid black, it's got 1 peg, it's hollow, honestly it's junk. I'm not much of a stand guy, so these stands are going to go to a huge bin, never to be seen again. So let's take a look at Robert Ford's accessories first. He's got 2 different heads, one with sort of a hat on it, maybe sort of a western hat. He's got his dog. Then he has 4 hands, 2 of which are gripping hands in the back, and the front 2 are a little bit more open. It looks like either one could potentially hold an accessory that he does not come with, of course. So let's go ahead and check out his hands first. Here he is with his more open hands. I guess they're a little more relaxed. He can hang out at his side here. And then here he is with his semi-open gripping hands. These could potentially hold an accessory. He doesn't come with anything he needs to hold. You'd have to supply your own. Now bear in mind, I have not seen the show, and I sure plan to watch it. It's on the agenda for the next several days. This is going to be one of many shows or movies that I've watched because I got the figure, and most of the time I end up enjoying it. I'm going to be inserting the source material. So this show I know has a lot of Western themes to it, etc., etc. So I'm assuming there's going to be horse riding and gunslinging, etc., etc. Here he is with a 6-shooter. His finger even goes to the trigger. It looks pretty nice and works great. So you have to supply your own gun, and that's a little bit annoying. But if you have one that works, it looks pretty cool, and he is definitely able to hold one. Next, I'll take a look at his 2 heads. As you can see, one of them is just sort of regular, and one has a hat on. This guy's hat, a little bit Western style. Then here he is with his hatless standard default head. This is the head the figure came with. And here he is with his head with his hat on. Both of these have a great Anthony Hopkins likeness to them. Next, let's check out his dog. It's laying down on the ground, relaxed. I really must say I do like the detail on it, and I like the way it looks. As you can see a little bit of its ribs down there sculpted. His face looks pretty nice. I mean, a lot of detail in the eyes. The ears a different color, all kind of different colors throughout his hair. His paws look pretty good. And one thing I do like, he's not totally flat on the bottom like you might expect. He's actually fully sculpted and has complete features with his leg. It does work out pretty well to set him down. Like that a lot. They could have just made it completely flat and detailless at the bottom, but they didn't cheap out on the dog. And then here's this dog. There's several other recently released dogs in my action figure collection. The far left, we've got John Wick Chapter 2, and then John Wick Chapter 1, and then this Westworld dog, and then a dog from Alien 3, and then a Batman Ace the Bat Hound dog. Next, let's check out the Man in Black's accessories. So here are all of his accessories laid out, and he does come with the most stuff. Let's go ahead and start off with his hands. Here he is with his 2 fisted hands equipped. Here he is with 2 larger semi-open gripping hands equipped. And then here he is with a couple of smaller gripping hands attached. And then here he is with his trigger finger hands attached. Now he comes with trigger finger hands. Does not come with a removable pistol. His pistol is stuck in its holster. Like I said before, I believe I read somewhere that either the studio or maybe it was one of the actors mandated them not to have gun accessories, so they couldn't include removable guns. One thing kind of cool, this guy can sort of hold on to his gun as he's reaching for it, getting ready to pull it out. Nice little feature there, and I do wish it was fully removable, but it looks good. He can use his left hand sort of pulling his jacket back and his right hand pulling out his pistol. I assume at one point they were going to include removable pistols, as he has a trigger finger hand, and you'd think they wouldn't have made that for no reason. Now here's his hat. It's a pretty nice hat, a little bit plain, kind of cowboyish. Got a little dip at the top there. It's got a ring around the base here, made of a soft material, very bendable, etc., etc. Here he is wearing his hat. Fits on him great, stays on fine, no chance of it falling off easily. I like that a lot. And because his articulation is so nice, and we will get to that after looking at the accessories, he's able to reach up like he's taking his hat off, or maybe tipping it for one of the ladies. Next, he's got this knife. Nothing too spectacular about this. It's a large knife, got some nice sculpting at the top, some different paint details on the handle there. And then he does have a functioning holster for his knife. It can go into this sheath here. Looks pretty cool. Annoying how this one is great functioning and this one not quite so much. I have seen reviews and the Walgreens version does not go with the knife, just has an empty holster, which is pretty annoying. And then here he is holding the knife. I'm using his smaller gripping hands to hold it. And then his last 2 accessories, as I'm sure you can imagine, since I haven't seen the show, I really have no idea what they are. So some sort of energy or whatnot. It's got a little bit of a logo in the middle. And we've got this other item here. It's a similar type logo in the middle. I'm really not sure what they are. I'm going to assume there's something that will transition between the fantasy world and the real world. But I really don't know what I'm talking about, so I'll shut up on the topic for now. And like I said before, I really don't know what to do with these items, but he is able to hold both of them. I use his larger gripping hand on the right and a smaller gripping hand on the left. And then just like Dr. Ford, you've got to supply your own weapons. I found these two sort of old style revolver or 6-shooters, and they work great in these guys' hands. His trigger finger fits into the trigger, just works perfect for him. And if you are able to come up with a weapon for him, he can do all kinds of different poses, and his hands are great for these things. Next, let's check out regular release Delores' accessories. She only has the one item, looks to be a satchel with some items inside of it. Here's a closer look at this thing. At first I couldn't quite tell what it was, but it's got the little string at the front there. Seems to be a bag. It's got, I don't know, a can of some kind inside of there. Flat on the bottom. And then we've got Outlaw Delores. She simply comes with 2 heads. Here she is with her standard head. This is the head she came with, her default one. It has no hat, no bandana. And it may be painted slightly differently than the regular release, but I do believe it to be the same sculpt. Looks like their eyebrows and lips are painted just a little bit differently, as well as maybe the hair. And here she is with her alternate head, hat, and bandana on, becoming that Outlaw Delores. And then just like with the other figures, I went ahead and provided my own gun for her. She has the same problem, the holster with the gun permanently attached. She doesn't have trigger holding guns or hands, but if you're clever enough, you can get them in there and they stay in there pretty decently and look presentable. I'm actually using her ring finger in the trigger here. Now that we've taken a good look at all their accessories, next let's check out the height of these figures, then we'll check out their articulation, and then we'll compare them with different action figures. So this guy here, from bottom to top, looks like he's sitting at just about 6.6 inches, and that translates to 16 3/4 centimeters. Next, let's check out the height of the man in black. So from bottom to top, this guy's sitting at about 6.8 or so inches, and that translates to about 17 1/4 centimeters. And then regular Delores here looks like she's sitting at right about 6.5 inches, translating to 16.5 centimeters. And then Outlaw Delores here, it looks like she's going to be sitting at about just a little bit under 6 3/4 inches, and that translates to approximately 17 centimeters. Next, let's look at their articulation, starting with Robert Ford here. Of course, his head, it can go around from side to side. It can look up just a little bit, then down. His shoulders go out a full 90 degrees. There's a ball joint side of there. They go up, down, all the way around. He's got a bicep cut below that. He's got double jointed elbows, although they don't look super good when they're all the way inside like that. His wrist here, of course, you can swivel around, and it's hinged as well. He's got not exactly an ab crunch, ball joint side of there that can swivel around, and he can move in and out just a hair. He doesn't have a waist swivel here, but it kind of looks like he does. That's just where his vest ends. His legs go out a full 90 degrees, absolutely no problem. They can go forward about that far, and back really not at all. He does have double jointed knees. Above that there's a swivel. Then his feet, of course, they can go up and down just a hair. Rotate around, no problem. And they can tilt and rock quite a bit. Next, let's check out the man in black. Of course, his head here, you can go around from side to side. You can look up that far, down that far, a little more than Robert. Shoulders go out just about 90 degrees, ball joint side of there, up, down, around, all that fun stuff. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows and go pretty much all the way up. Once again, looking a little funky down there. His wrist, of course, you can swivel around, and it's hinged as well. This guy's got same kind of thing going on over here. It's a swivel up there. Go forward and back just a hair. Looks like he has no waist articulation below that as well. His legs can go out pretty much full 90 degrees. This one here is obstructed by the holster a little bit, so you can see. And then go forward about that far. Back, really not very much at all. Double jointed knees go all the way back. Then his feet here really can't go up and down very much like the other guy. They can rotate around and they can tilt and rock quite a bit. Next, let's have the regular version of Delores Abernathy. Her head goes around side to side, doesn't go around too much. Her hair obstructs a lot of that. Can look down about that far, up really not at all. Shoulders go out pretty much full 90 degrees. Ball joint a lot smaller, up, down, around. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. Her wrist can move around, then hinge just like the other guys. As you can hear, her dress is hard. It's continually shaking. Ab crunch, kind of move around a little bit. It can go up and down a lot, which is pretty nice. Got a little bit of a swivel below that, but really not much at all. Now you can hear her legs shaking the side of there. I think it's odd they even gave her legs. They could have cheaped out and not done that. Once again, I think it's so weird. I mean, they sculpted the boots on there with good detail. She's got some kind of like long johns inside there. And she does have knee articulation, which is so odd. I do see the joint side of there. Can't tell if it's double or single. I don't know why it would be double. But I find it so odd that they gave all that extra inside there. It almost feels like, should I be able to remove the dress? But it sure doesn't come off. I mean, it's cool, but they could have cheaped out and not done that. And then we've got Outlaw Delores. Her head, going to have some of the similar issues with the hair, although if you lean it forward, it can move a little bit more. Go forward that far, back really not too much. Shoulders go out about that far, not quite 90 degrees. Ball joint, she got the bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows go all the way in. Wrists, of course, it can rotate, and it's hinged. She's got a similar but articulation here, can rotate from side to side. Forward and back, almost not at all. Legs go out that far, more than 90 degrees. Then go forward about that far, back really not at all. Notice she's wearing khaki pants. They're considerably different than the legs inside of the regular Delores, which is very odd. She's got a thigh cut below that. Double joint knees go all the way back. Got her cowboy boots. Go forward, back, really a little more than the other guy looks like. And they can not exactly rotate, but they can tilt and rotate sort of at the same time. Next, I would like to take a look at them next to some other similar Western type figures, and then we'll check them out with some other accessories that I've gotten to substitute for these figures. And then we'll check them out compared with some other action figure lines. Here they are next to a couple of Mattel DC Universe Classics figures. On the far left, we've got Gentleman Ghost. On the far right, we've got Jonah Hex. These guys here fight each other sometimes, and Jonah Hex definitely is a Western guy. Gentleman Ghost is an old school villain who's alive during those times. I do wish that I'd gotten the DC Direct Jonah Hex, and I believe the damsel in distress in that film. And then here they are next to a couple of their Diamond Select brothers. These are Diamond Select toys from another line from the film The Dark Tower. Another film that I've not seen, but I like the figures for. On the far left here, we've got the Gunslinger, definitely a Western style figure. And on the far right, coincidentally, we've got the Man in Black. Man in Black, Man in Black. I wish I had a Men in Black action figure, or I put them in there too, but I don't. And then here are several different horses I have in my action figure collection. These guys here work great for 6 and 7 inch figures. I got some of them to use for my Dark Knight Returns Batman, my Gentleman Ghost, Jonah Hex, etc., etc. This first one here, this is a Nazgul horse from Lord of the Rings, fully articulated, great for these size figures. Next one here is an all-black horse from Sleepy Hollow. Next one here is an all-white horse, great for my Gentleman Ghost, once again from Lord of the Rings. Next one here, also from Lord of the Rings. This is a brown horse, a little bit more of a traditional look. And this last horse here, a little bit too small for these figures. Came with a Legends of the Dark Knight Batman line from the 90s. Then here we go. Here are 4 of these figures on horses, riding toward each other, getting ready to see who has the best aim. And then here they are with the gunslinger, wondering who this outsider is in their town. And then here's a little scene with all of them on horseback, getting ready to fire at each other. Now here's this Westworld figure next to another Anthony Hopkins figure in my collection. This is an older NECA figure from Silence of the Lambs. I don't know if they ever actually made an Anthony Hopkins figure from the first Thor movie, being Thor's father. I don't have that one if they did. I'm really not aware of any other 6 or 7 inch Anthony Hopkins figures out there. If anyone does know about any, please put it in the comments below. I'd be interested. And one of the first things I thought when I saw this Man in Black figure was, boy, he has a striking resemblance to the Diamond Select Gotham Mr. Zsasz figure. These guys are very similar, all in black with their bald heads. And next, if you're like me and you like to mix action figure lines, let's check these guys out compared to several other action figure lines to see how they fit in both scale and style-wise. And then here they are next to some other Diamond Select toys. These are action figures from the same company as these Westworld figures. On the left-hand side, we've got the most recently released John Wick, followed by Alfred from Gotham. And the right-hand side, both James Gordon and Bullock from Gotham. Here they are next to some more of their Diamond Select brothers. These are action figures from both Sin City and Pulp Fiction. And here they are next to some Diamond Select toys from Ghostbusters, X-Files, and Mallrats. And here they are next to some McFarlane Toys action figures. And here they are next to some NECA action figures. And here they are next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here they are next to some Mattel wrestling figures. Then here they are next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. And then next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. Then here they are next to some Mafex figures. Here they are next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends action figures. And here they are next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. So overall, I'm going to say I like these figures. I like these figures more than I thought I would. I have this habit of getting any figure I think I might be able to use in my action figure world for displays, setups, civilians, bad guys, mobsters, etc., etc. And these guys delivered every bit as much as I expected and then some. Whether you want to use these guys for Westworld figures, Wild West figures, civilians, or customs, there's a lot of options for these guys, and they're pretty good quality. If I were to rate these figures, I'd rate Dr. Robert Ford a 7 out of 10, Man in Black a 7.5 out of 10, he's pretty nice, regular Delores a 6 out of 10, and then Outlaw Delores a 6.5 out of 10. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.